Hello everybody, today is a bit of a low energy day for me, but I did still want to make some content and talk about some stuff PSVR2 relating. I don't really jump in and just talk about anything if there's nothing to talk about, but we've had some pretty cool news over the last day or so from some developers who talked about the future of PSVR2 and PSVR2's SDK while maintaining their NDAs and embargoes, of course, because we don't want to get them in trouble or anything. That point to an exciting future where Sony are updating it and are committed to VR. Before we dive into the details here and talk about this in depth, I just wanted to bring up a point that a few commenters have made in the last couple of days, which is that some of you have been unsubscribed from the channel just because YouTube decided that it would do that. Like, you haven't done it yourselves, it's done it without you knowing. If that is the case for you, just check below whether or not you subscribed. Of course, you don't have to subscribe, but if you were before, to show your support, which is greatly appreciated, it might have undone that by itself. YouTube is very silly sometimes, and honestly, I didn't think this was a real thing that actually happened until you guys pointed it out. So thank you for letting me know in the comments, and if that's happened to you, just give it a double check. So without further ado, let's get on to the main content of the video. That main content being the fact that over the last couple of days, we've had some conflicting developer statements, and I want to take a look at either side regarding the future of PSVR2. Now, I don't really want to point and name names here and kind of shame people for either having opinions or sources or whatever, because honestly, the first developer here, which is BitPlanet Games, who make Ultra Wings, they make fantastic games. I absolutely loved Ultra Wings on PSVR2. They came up with a statement basically saying that they were kind of concerned for the future of PSVR, didn't see it going very far and thought Sony would drop it, most likely. This was from a source that they basically kept anonymous, which is absolutely fair enough. That's not really a problem at all. And to be fair to them, they said that this info could be wrong, could be proven wrong in the future, but they were fairly sure that Sony's foray into VR wouldn't really last that long and support would be dwindling a little bit in the near to far future. That could well be the case. However, we've had a couple more statements from other developers, which we'll go through now, talking about not only the future looking fairly bright for PSVR2, but also actually naming examples of where improvements might be, not on our end in terms of updating for the consumer, because they don't have access to any of that, I don't think, but updates on the developer end, on the SDK, and we'll get into what that really means and the statements now. If you're not aware, an SDK is basically a development kit for software, in this case for the PSVR2 software, which allows a developer to build tools for that platform, build games for that platform, and it's kind of an installable package that I think you can get when you develop games for PSVR2, and Sony gives these out basically, and I think the future of these are actually talked about fairly transparently between Sony and the game devs here regarding future updates and stuff that's in the SDK, but they can't actually talk about it in depth. But the statement we got was under a post by Realistic Ad 5860 on the PSVR subreddit, talking about people panicking about Sony shutting down PSVR2, which we've just gone over. But below that is a post by Ryan Games, who I think are a solo developer who made Train Chase for PSVR2, their first PSVR2 game, and they put, "Let me tell you this as another PSVR2 developer, looking at their SDK updates, I don't see them abandoning VR at all, quite the opposite," which is an exciting and promising statement on its own, but they added some more stuff afterwards that I think is fairly exciting. Mad Dexy underneath said, "Thank you for sharing this. This coming from a person who directly has access to kits is assuring. I remember the Light Brigade developer mentioning that he doesn't see them abandoning it, and he said they are working on very amazing features, but of course he didn't share any." So there's already two devs who have said that cool stuff is on the way, probably on the game development side of things rather than consumer features and stuff, but you never know. And Ryan Games does confirm that, saying that they can't give more details without breaching NDA, which is completely fair, which they haven't done here, by the way. So anyone from Sony, if you are listening, these guys have not breached anything. They haven't revealed anything. They've just said, future's looking good. But they said what my post implies is that they're actively working on updates or new features for PSVR2. Abandonment would mean they don't do it, hence it's the opposite. So it is quite exciting to see a solo developer talk positively about the future of PSVR2. It's very much appreciated when Sony is not the most transparent. You've seen with Meta over the last couple of weeks, they've come out and been really open with what they're doing with the platform and what their plans are for the future. Sony are not that way. They don't really talk about the platform in that particular light, really. They come out with updates occasionally. I mean, even the PC support, I did not hear a hint of PC support being announced at the year one anniversary for PSVR2. They just came out with it. So we get these statements as they come. So stuff like this is kind of the best we have in terms of information on the future and the SDK at PSVR2. But it's all very exciting. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm really, really hopeful for the future of the platform, not just because of this, but this is also reassuring. So please do let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to our patrons, Luke Bentley, Phil Irving, Hazit Moser, Ace Gamer, and Phil Irving, and also Hippie Pickle, who joined us last week on the Patreon. So thank you all for supporting over there. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to join the Patreon or YouTube membership, the link's in the description below, along with the Discord. If you want to come and talk to me or ask me anything in particular, the link's down there too. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.